Welcome back to the channel. What if I told you that one of the most common-looking pennies in your pocket change, one dated 1944, could actually be a hidden gem worth thousands of dollars? That a single Lincoln wheat penny from that year might be the gateway to an incredible discovery sitting right under your nose? You might be thinking, but 1944? Aren't there millions of those out there? Yes, there are. But what if I told you there are rare versions, wild mint errors, and special variations of the 1944 Lincoln cent that have sold at auctions for eye-popping amounts? Keep watching, because this is one story you don't want to miss. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is instantly recognizable. Copper-toned. That familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln staring to the right. The words, "In God We Trust," arching above his head, "Liberty," to the left, and the date, 1944, stamped clearly on the lower right. On the back, two wheat ears frame the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. It looks ordinary. But don't be fooled. This was a special year, and there are variations of this coin that are anything but ordinary. Let's begin with a bit of context. In 1943, due to wartime metal shortages, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to zinc-coated steel for penny production. Those famous silver-colored 1943 steel cents are well known among collectors. But in 1944, copper came back, but not just any copper. The Mint recycled spent shell casings from World War II, melting them down to produce copper planchets for new pennies. That means your 1944 Lincoln cent was quite literally struck from war materials, giving it a piece of history like no other. Now, most 1944 Lincoln cents were struck in large numbers, over 1.4 billion in total across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But what makes this penny so exciting is the unexpected errors and rare compositions that make certain 1944 pennies worth a fortune, the most famous among them. The 1944 steel cent error. Remember how 1943 pennies were made of steel? A few leftover steel planchets got stuck in the minting machinery and were accidentally used in 1944. These are incredibly rare. Instead of a warm copper color, they're silver or gray in tone, just like the 1943 pennies, but they're dated 1944. Only a handful are known to exist. If you ever see a silver-colored 1944 penny, don't spend it. Don't toss it. Have it authenticated immediately. It could be worth tens of thousands of dollars, but even the copper versions from 1944 have their own secrets. Some pennies from that year show double die obverse errors, where parts of the design were doubled during minting. These doubling effects are often seen in the words, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even in Lincoln's profile. It's subtle, but with a magnifying glass and sharp eyes, you might spot one, and if you do, you're holding something rare. There are also examples of repunched mint marks, especially from the Denver and San Francisco mints. If you spot a second faint D or S behind the bold one, that could be a repunched mint mark variety, and collectors love those. Some 1944 cents exhibit off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to one side of the coin, leaving part of it blank. The more off-center, and the more of the date that's visible, the better. These oddities can be one-of-a-kind collectibles. Let's not forget about BAE errors, a type of die break between the B and E in Liberty that forms what looks like a tiny I. It's not a major error in terms of value, but collectors still seek them out, especially when combined with great condition. Then there are struck-through errors, where something like a piece of cloth, grease, or wire got between the die and the blank coin, leaving strange impressions or missing details. These are fun, mysterious, and often worth more than you'd expect. And what about condition? Even if your 1944 penny has no obvious error, condition can make all the difference. Coins are graded from worn, circulated, good, all the way up to shiny, flawless, mint state. A 1944 Lincoln wheat penny in MS66 or higher, with brilliant red luster, sharp strike, and no blemishes, is rare and highly sought after by collectors. So how much money are we talking about? Let's break it down with real auction sales of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, a 1944 steel cent from Philadelphia, one of only about 30 known, sold for $180,000 at a major auction. Yes, 1 cent turned into $180K. A 1944 D steel penny, even rarer, brought a jaw-dropping $115,000. These coins are so scarce they rarely appear in public auctions. A 1944 S steel cent, with just 2 or 3 known to exist, sold privately for $408,000, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. A regular 1944 copper penny in MS-67 red, with blazing color and no marks, fetched $4,230. A 1944 D with a bold repunched mint mark, in MS-66 red condition, sold $4,2,650. A 1944 S penny with double die obverse, authenticated and sharply struck, went $4,3,500. A dramatic off-center strike 1944 penny, about 50% off with full date visible, sold $4,1,450. A BAE era penny, though less dramatic, still sold for $275 in mint state red condition. And a struck-through error showing fabric-like texture across Lincoln's face sold $4,985. So yes, a 1944 penny might seem like pocket change. But the right one, with the right error or in the right condition, can bring in thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, at auction. That's not speculation. That's fact. So go ahead, check those old penny jars. Look through your inherited coin albums. Inspect every 1944 cent that crosses your path. Because the next legendary find could be hiding right in your collection. If this story opened your eyes to the secret world of rare coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a hidden treasure. 1 cent. 1 moment. 1 discovery could change everything. Happy hunting. The 1940 D Lincoln wheat penny is a piece of American history that most people have overlooked. Struck in Denver, this coin was part of a massive mintage. Over 81 million coins were produced that year with the D mint mark. At a glance, it looks like any other wheat cent, Lincoln's iconic bust on the front, flanked by the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the date, 1940, and a small d below it. On the reverse, 2 bold wheat stalks frame the words, 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum arching above. But just because millions were made doesn't mean they're all the same. Some of them, just a handful, are anything but ordinary. While the average 1940 D penny is a common date for collectors, the real story lies in the details. The key is the condition and the errors. That's right, certain rare mint errors, high grades, and unique features can send this humble penny's value soaring. And the exciting part? Most people never notice these details until it's too late. Let's start with one of the most fascinating types of errors, double die obverse. This happens when the coin die itself is misaligned or imprinted more than once, causing letters and numbers to appear doubled. On the 1940 D, doubling may be seen in Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. If you've got a coin like that, it's not just a penny, it's a prize. Then there's the repunched mint mark, or RPM, which is incredibly sought after. The Denver Mint didn't always get it right on the first punch. Some 1940 D pennies show signs of the D being punched more than once in slightly different spots. You may see shadows, doubling, or ghost-like outlines around the mint mark. These variations may be small to the naked eye, but collectors go wild for them, especially when found in high grades. Another variety to look out for is the BIE error, a tiny vertical die break between the B and E in Liberty that looks like the letter I. This quirky mistake is part of a long-standing collector fascination. While not wildly valuable on its own, when paired with a sharp strike and great preservation, it can still bring in impressive returns. You've also got the always thrilling off-center strike. If your 1940 D penny looks a little lopsided or has part of the design missing from one edge, that could be a minting error. The more off-center it is, and the more of the date that's still visible, the better. These coins are like mint-made puzzles, each one unique, each one a potential gem. Die cracks, cuds, and struck-through errors are also part of the mix. These happen when something goes wrong during the coin striking process, whether it's a cracked die, foreign material, or a damaged planchet. The result? Raised lines, blobs of extra metal, or missing design elements. These make your coin stand out, literally and financially. Now, let's talk condition, because this is where even error-free coins can climb in value. The term mint state refers to coins that never entered circulation, coins that remain crisp, clean, and free from wear. A 1940 D penny in MS-65 red condition or better is an impressive find. Red is the key word here. Lincoln cents are made of copper, and they tone over time. Brown pennies are the most common, red-brown coins are rarer, and fully red coins are the holy grail. A bright red, mint state, 1940 D penny? That's a serious contender at auction.so. What are these coins really worth? Let's dive into the exciting part, actual auction prices where regular people turned old pennies into unexpected paydays. A 1940 D Lincoln wheat penny in MS67 red, graded by PCGS, sold for $3,840 at auction. That's nearly $4,000 for a 1-cent coin. Another MS66 Plus red specimen brought in $2,115, largely due to its exceptional luster and sharp strike. A 1940 D with a dramatic off-center strike of 40%, still showing the date, sold for $1,450, proving that even flawed coins can be valuable. Sometimes especially so. A coin with a repunched mint mark variety, RPM 001, certified and in high red condition, crossed the block at $9.80. One collector paid $720 for a 1940 D wheat penny with a BIE die break, because it was in near-perfect MS65 red condition. A coin with a major die crack running across Lincoln's head and through the field sold for $850, catching the eyes of collectors hunting for dramatic minting errors. And a rare struck-through cloth error, where a piece of fabric left an imprint on Lincoln's coat, fetched $1,130 at a regional coin show auction. These aren't theoretical prices. These are real numbers paid by real collectors who know that a simple copper coin, when rare, beautiful, or bizarre, can command serious attention in cash.so. Before you toss your old pennies into a piggy bank or coin jar, take a moment. Look closer. Pull out any 1940 D wheat pennies you might have. Inspect the mint mark. Check for doubling. Study the color and shine. That 1 cent could be your hidden jackpot, and if you've enjoyed this journey into the world of rare Lincoln cents, if you're now eyeing your change with renewed curiosity, then don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Because every coin tells a story. And some of those stories are worth thousands. Keep hunting, keep dreaming, and may your next penny be the one that changes everything. At first glance, the 1957 wheat penny looks like any other old cent. It's copper, it's got Lincoln's bust on the front, and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. But beneath that familiar face lies a world of possibilities. This isn't just any coin, it's a gateway into a rich chapter of American history and numismatics. And the more you learn about this little penny, the more you'll want to check every single one you come across. Let's start with the basics. The 1957 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in 2 primary locations, Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and Denver, with a small D mint mark just below the date. It was one of the last years that the U.S. Mint produced the iconic wheat reverse before switching to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. That makes it one of the last of its kind, and that alone draws the attention of collectors. Over 282 million were struck in Philadelphia and over $1 billion in Denver. Sounds like a lot, right? But it's not the common coins that get collectors excited. It's the rare ones. The error coins. The nearly flawless ones that somehow made it through the minting process in exceptional condition, or didn't, and came out with fascinating mistakes. Let's talk about those mistakes. The most desirable errors on 1957 Lincoln wheat pennies include double die obverse errors, BIE errors, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and struck-through debris errors. These aren't just imperfections, they're rare quirks that can make a simple penny worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars. The double die obverse, for example, is one of the most famous and valuable errors in all of numismatics. This occurs when the coin die is imprinted more than once but slightly misaligned, resulting in doubled images. On a 1957 wheat penny, this doubling is often seen in the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," or the date itself. If you find that, you're looking at a rare collector's item. Then there's the BE error, a small vertical die break that forms what looks like the letter between the B and E in Liberty. It's not as valuable as a double die, but it's still a popular and collectible error, with prices that can range from modest to substantial depending on condition. Another popular variety is the repunched mint mark, or RPM. This occurs when the D mint mark on Denver minted coins was punched more than once, and the punches weren't perfectly aligned. Look closely and you might see a ghostly second D slightly offset from the first. Some examples of RPMs on the 1957 D wheat penny are dramatic, and very collectible. There are also coins with off-center strikes, where the design is pushed to one side, leaving a blank crescent-shaped area. The more off-center the strike, and the more of the date that remains visible, the more valuable the coin. Lastly, struck-through errors happen when something like grease, string, or other debris gets between the die and the coin blank, causing strange impressions or missing features. These are one-of-a-kind oddities that collectors love, but even if you don't find an error, there's still value in high-grade examples. The average 1957 penny is worth about a cent or two in worn condition. But if you find one that's nearly flawless, shiny, red in color, no nicks or wear, you might have a mint state red Lincoln wheat penny, and that can command serious money. Grades like MS65, MS66, and especially MS67 or higher are where the real money lies. So how much are we really talking about? Let's take a look at actual auction prices for this little copper coin that once bought a stick of gum, a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny in MS67 plus red condition, graded by PCGS, sold for $2,640 at auction. That's a single cent worth thousands. A 1957 D with a strong repunched mint mark in mint state red condition sold for $1,250, thanks to the clarity and sharpness of the RPM error. Another 1957 penny with a double die obverse, authenticated and verified, brought in $2,300 at auction. A struck-through debris error on the obverse of a 1957 D wheat penny, where the face of Lincoln had a bizarre, sunken appearance, sold $4,100. A pristine 1957 D penny in MS68 red, one of the finest known, went $4,3,850 in a major auction event. An off-center strike of 50%, with full date and mint mark still visible, was sold $4,175. Even a less dramatic, but well-centered BAE error coin in MS66 condition, sold for $470. Showing that even small quirks can bring in decent value. So the next time you see a copper penny dated 1957, don't ignore it. Flip it over. Check for that wheat stalk design. Examine the date and mint mark. Look for doubling, look for mint mark irregularities, and pay attention to the color and condition. Is it bright red and uncirculated? Does it have clean surfaces and sharp details? That could be a sign that you've got something special. Because yes, a penny might be just 1 cent, but in the world of coin collecting, it could be your hidden treasure. You might have a coin worth hundreds, or even thousands, sitting in a box, jar, or drawer right now, just waiting to be discovered. If you found this story exciting, eye-opening, or maybe just a little unbelievable, do yourself a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon so you never miss another thrilling episode about rare coins hiding in plain sight. Who knows? The next great find could be in your pocket. Happy hunting!